Hello, team, and welcome to episode 44, Which Watched Which Watch. And the inspiration for the name of this class was a video that a Brazilian English teacher made. I think it's a good one. And the theme of this spooky week is enunciation. Team, I think any English student has thought about pronunciation, how you say different words. If you have a different name and have spoken to a native, maybe they couldn't pronounce your name. It's how we say something. But today I would like you to pay attention to enunciation, the clarity with which you speak. Because judging from my mother, if you want to remove your accent in English, it takes about 30 years living in another country. That's it, just 30 years. But your enunciation, you can improve instantly by slowing down the way you speak and opening your mouth a little bit more while speaking. Because if I talk like this, it's still English, but it's much harder for you to understand. But if I talk like this, it becomes much more understandable. So for today's class, I would like you to focus on enunciation. All right? Let's see what we've got. And that said, we're going to start with this right here. If two witches would watch two watches, which witch would watch which watch? Do not worry about speed. You do not need to do this 3 times fast, but I would like you to try to enunciate clearly. If two witches would watch two watches, which witch would watch which watch? And team, remember, these Instagram videos, they are fun, they are great tools, but the difference between learning and entertainment is that with entertainment, you just watch it, haha, and go to the next one. Learning, you take something from it. So put it into practice. And I think this is a great tongue twister to practice. All right. And let me see. Have you ever been embarrassed or had a problem because you pronounced something incorrectly? Well, I guess for me it would be in Portuguese. I think I have a pretty good Brazilian accent, Mineiro accent to be specific. I started speaking Portuguese young, but I've mixed stuff up. I remember it was more about the, matching the masculines and the feminines. I remember when I was young, I used to say meu mãe, which in English makes sense, my mom. But in Portuguese, you have to say minha mãe. You have to match the feminine minha with mãe. And you'd say like meu pai. So that I remember making that type of mistake. And let's take a look at some Halloween themed tongue twisters. Level 1. Dracula digs dreary, dark dungeons. Lots of vocab here. It's at the bottom, but quickly. Digs can be literally like you dig a grave, but digs can also be when you think something's cool. Oh yeah, I dig your shoes. They're nice. Where'd you get them? Dreary. Dreary would be dark, gloomy. It's like when you wake up, it's that gray day, and you're like, I'll just stay home and watch Netflix. And a dungeon would be like the prison in those old castles where the ghosts now live. Level 2. He thrusts his fists against the posts and still insists he sees the ghosts. Lots of spit going everywhere. But team, take it slowly. I think the hardest words are here. He thrusts. And I also heard a lot of my students just skipping these S's at the end. So he thrusts his fists against the posts and still insists he sees the ghosts. And an original, this one I made for Halloween Thursday. 3 thick thieves thought they'd steal treats with thrills and chills this Halloween Thursday. And team, bonus points. Like I told my students, you get a month of free classes if you can nail this first try. I have offered this challenge more than one time. I have never had to pay for it. So if you can get the OUGHs of the apocalypse correctly, you win a month of free classes. No cheating though. You can't go search for the sounds first. And I think these are the most important one. These Halloween, non-Halloween related tongue twisters, because these here, these are for public speakers. Whether you are a teacher, you give presentations, you see these reporters, these politicians, they do vocal warm-ups the same way a soccer player warms up before the game. And these are some classic English tongue twisters. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck? She sells seashells by the seashore. A proper copper coffee pot. 6 slippery snails slid silently. Fred fed Ted bread, and Ted fed Fred bread. It's a good one. Betty Botter bought some butter. And you don't need to do all of them, but how I would use this if I were an English student. Maybe you're going to give a presentation. Maybe you're preparing for an interview. Arrive 1 minute early and practice 1 or 2 of these that you think will help. You do not need to practice all of them. Pick a favorite. Some of these are actually longer. You can check online. I remember this one. It's how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? But I know this one's longer as well. The one with Betty Botter is much longer. So you can get the complete versions as well. Going back. Team! This was a lot of fun. Thank you, everyone who joined me on Friday for a live Gringo experience. We went to Hofbrauhaus for happy hour. It was awesome. Lots of fun. It was a pleasure to see these students who I usually see in the square offline. And I was really proud of my students. It's sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do. And I hope you all left with that feeling of accomplishment, that you did something difficult. It's almost like a workout. Before doing it, like, I don't want to go. And then you leave, you're like, yeah, feeling great. So congratulations to all of you. And there will be more. And not only will there be more, but we are organizing what type of event. So I asked my students to vote their favorites and their least favorites. I will see which are the finalists, and we will set this up. But Dudu, I don't think we're going to be doing the dance lessons. That was easily the least voted one. People are not interested in dancing, thank God. But we will see what people are interested in. Any ideas not included? I didn't include it on Monday, but I thought it was a really good one. A picnic, I thought is a cool one, especially for people with dogs. So it's a secret one that's not on the list, but I really liked it. Team, I am filming this today on Thursday, the 31st. I'm sorry, I should be wearing a mask, but I need to get my luchador mask. But the talking point is Halloween. And what's curious about it is that over the last few years, it has been growing here in Brazil, but also it has been getting some resistance, especially from more Christian people. At my daughter's school, for example, some of the mothers complained, and there's no Halloween. Other places, they changed it to costume day. But whatever your thoughts, that's the talking point. What trends you expect to see? I've seen a lot of like cool makeup. I think this is maybe some TikTok influence, but I've seen lots of cool different makeups, like zombie things, and some Joker, even though I heard the movie is horrible. Halloween memories. What do you remember about Halloween? The current and future situation of Halloween in your country. The best and worst candy. Personally, I hate licorice. I think it's ridiculous. It tastes like plastic. That's I guess what it is. It tastes like plastic. My dad loves it, but I guess he is crazy. And here in Brazil, the aritana popcorn. I don't think that is edible. I think that's like the remains of something that they put some sugar on. It's awful. And if you come to Brazil and you're not Brazilian, do not fall for it. The aritana popcorn is ridiculous. The salty one's all right, chipão, but the sweet one, how adults can have fun with Halloween. Team, I think when you're young, you love wearing costumes, and then like my niece Laura, she's turning 15, and she's like, I'm too old for this. And maybe when you turn 30, you kind of start liking it again. So where are you on this curve? Because I think it's always fun when we have an excuse to dress up as something cool. Cool laser show, team. If you want to hear some rock music. So if you want to check out some Halloween decorations together with some rock music. There we go. It's a good playlist. It's almost like a rave. And last up, team, your scary story. I think everybody should be able to tell a scary story, whether it's to scare some kids or just for Halloween Eve. But I guess it's my turn. Well, I have a friend. I'm not going to cite any names for this story, but his mother-in-law passed away right before the pandemic, and they already had a house, so they didn't need to move into the house that his wife inherited, and they rented it to some friends. This couple, they had a daughter, and when they moved into this house, the daughter started to regress and pee the bed, wake up screaming, running to the parents' room. She didn't want to speak much, and they took her to a psychologist, where she eventually said that there was a lady in her room. And it's crazy. There's no lady in her room, but they showed her some pictures, and one of them was the mother-in-law who had passed away. And she said, "That's her right there. She's the one who I've been seeing in my room." And whether you believe it or not, I think the logical course of action was the one they took, and they got out of there. But that is your Halloween story. How about you? You have any scary stories to share? And team, I think this is the time of the year for some scary movies and series. I remember when Bantaris and I were dating, we went to see The Nun. If you're like, those jump scares, not really my favorite. I like the more suspense style. The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix was really cool. And I got some recommendations from my students. I should have had the list here, but I don't remember them now. But I heard some good ones. And if you want a quick video, not a movie or series, I recommend you watch this at 2 a.m. and you meet the Smiling Man. Team, that's all we've got for today. Let me see, some vocabulary and some skeletons. Oh, one last tongue twister. Skeletons sneak and scurry, swiftly sliding through the shadows, scheming to scare someone in the still, silent house. Thank you, ChatGPT, for that one. Happy Halloween, and I hope to see you in class. Thank you.